Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, something we don't usually do. We're actually going to be playing a little bit of Kaldheim Sealed, and the reason for this is mostly because I find it to be an interesting way for someone who's not particularly good at Limited to actually build up their collection. So the reason that is, and unfortunately you can only really get in with gems, which for most people is going to mean you're going to have to put some real world money in. But if you were going to buy packs anyway, then this, in the at least early games stages of building your collection, just seems like a no-brainer, because you get 6 15-card packs, plus you get 200 gems and 3 packs for just going 0 and 3, and that is exactly 2,000 gems worth of value. So there is zero risk whatsoever doing any sealed right in the early game. The only downside to doing what I'm doing right now, should be stated, is that these 6 15-card packs are not going to be protected by duplicate protection or by, I guess, 5th card copy problems or anything like that. So you might get cards you've already seen and they might get converted into 20 gems, which basically means that it's worth it as long as you do it kind of in the early stages of building up your collection. But, you know, in the late side, when you're taking a little bit more risk with cards that you've already got, then it drops off a little bit in value, but I still think it's pretty good, because most of the time you're not going to go 0 and 3. Sometimes you're going to get 1 or 2 wins in there, and as you go up, you just get more and more gems, so your price of entry starts going down and down and down, and eventually at 6 you just go infinite essentially and get those packs for free. So there's really, at that point, no downside. Obviously it should be stated as well, if you are good at draft, then the value in something like Premier Draft is actually just so much better, but as I said, this one carries risk whereas Sealed doesn't. But this one comes with the trade-off that you get to pick the cards that you want. So if you did see that 5th copy of a rare that doesn't go in your deck, for example, you can just skip it over and pick a decent uncommon or something like that. But yeah, the rewards for doing Premier Drafts seem to be much better than doing Sealed, but I'm not that good at Draft, as many of you are aware. So I'm going to do some Sealed. I'm pretty much planning on using all my gems to do Sealed until maybe I fill out my collection a little bit more. That's the plan at the very least. And then see where we go from there. I don't have much time to do it either. I've kind of been putting it off. I haven't really been opening packs. I've just been eating into my wildcard supplies for the most part. So it's about time we did a little bit of Sealed and build up this collection so it can produce some cool content. Or at least what I would consider cool content. Anyway, 2,000 gems in. Let's go. So we're opening up 6 15-card packs. And then we're going to build a deck out of it. It's going to show us our rares first. So right off the bat, we've got 2 Simic cards. We've got Runeforge Champion, which goes quite nicely with any runes we might pick up. We could go for a pretty cool Boros deck, maybe. Tundra Fumaroles, decent enough removal. Arnie. Good old Arnie. He's basically a pretty nice attacking force. I've played with him once, and it was pretty good. Serulf is bad in Constructed. No idea if he's good in Limited. Maybe he is. Who knows? But Koma's kind of just a free win, right? I feel like that might be the case. The Bears of Litjara gives you a Shapeshifter, which is technically a Serpent. And then all Shapeshifters you control have base power and toughness 4/4. And then up to 1 target creature or Planeswalker gets fought by all 4-powered creatures. Interesting. Alright. And looks like we did actually hit some of the mythics. I think that might have been the Koma. I'm not quite sure. Alright, so let's look at those mythics and rares. And initially I'm thinking Simic looks pretty good. We can always splash for another colour as well. Maybe go Teema. And then we can splash in some Fumaroles and whatnot. It's also good to check out our Snow basics as well. But that kind of depends on if our Snow payoffs look pretty good. Let's have a look. I think I can just type Snow. Got an island, a swamp, a mountain. Is it Boros? We did get a Simic land, and then we got a singular tapped land that can become any one of our colours. So, I mean, Simic, the mana is supported here. You also have that red splash as well, with the Volatile Fjord. Interesting. Okay. As far as, like... Ooh, we even have the Frostbite as well, and Snow. That's nice. Sculptor of Winter can get us up to an early coma. I don't mind most of this. Could even go maybe 4 colours and get Nafi in there just to consistently return over and over again. Seems like he might be quite irritating to deal with. Alright, so let's kind of have a look at our blues and whatnot. Ooh, do we have any giants in these colours? We have the Frostpire Arcanist, the Bergstrider, and the Undersea Invader. I've heard this card is a trap. Seems reasonable in a ramp deck, but maybe it's a trap. Enters tap, so that flash is basically just to make it have pseudo haste as long as you do nothing on one of your turns. Which is it's a weird one. When it enters the battlefield, tap an artifact or creature an opponent controls. If Snow was spent to cast this, it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. I mean, it's fine. Spell costs 1 less to cast if you've got a giant or a wizard. And you get to search your library for an instant or sorcery card with the same name as a card in your graveyard and put it into your hand. So it's draw a card if you've got extras. I don't even know if we've got extras. Show me those extras. Yeah, this should show me 2s, right? Why is it only showing me 1s? Did I select 1s? I said anything but 1s. Chat, I have no idea. Ooh, 2 Binding of the Old Gods. What does Sultai look like? Because that might be a thing to do. We can actually fetch out our dual Snowlands as well. Our green Snowlands. Well, green Snowland. And get that Rimewood Falls out there. I kind of like Binding quite a lot. It's ramp, it's removal. Gets us to that coma. We can make some big boys. Do we have any green giants? Green giant. No, they don't exist. Okay. A little bit of squashing over there. I'm gonna get you in. Don't know about you just yet. I'll put you in. I don't know if you're good or not. I think you're a trap, but I'm gonna put you in. For now. What's black bringing us other than Binding? It's got to bring us something else, right? Wither Crown, enchanted creature has power 0. Okay, it's removal, I suppose. Skull Raid gives you pretty decent discard and card draw. We get that Serulf as well. I guess we also get Nafi on top of that. Let's get that Sculptor in here. I don't know about 5 mana 5/5s. I guess they're okay. 4 mana 3/2 with a 1/1. It's also okay. Oh. Mammoth Growth. It's a pretty looking house. Oops. The long haul became a flat haul. That's some good flavour. So this foretells and gives creature +4/+4. We've got the Snow for this, right? Also gets a little bit of a bonus from Nafi as well. Draw a land every turn on a 3/2. It's not the strongest thing in the world, but maybe it'll work. Do like I saw it coming, and I like a Behold the Multiverse. Whether they're good or not is to be determined. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it on the top or bottom. Return target non-land to its owner's hand. It needed to do a lot more. I was hoping this would be like a River's Rebuke, but it is so far from that. So we kind of just want to put loads of ramp in our deck, if we can. And maybe a bit of card draw deck thinning. that kind of thing. I'm going to get Skull Raid in here because it's cool. And it's the battlefield, put a counter on target creature, because I think we just win with this card. I don't know what anything does against us if we get that down on time, or even early. I could even see us playing the tempo game with, like, Depart the Realm. Does that mean strategic planning's worth playing? Does this giant only get instants and sorceries? He does. We are looking at the Bears of Litjara as well, so let's look at changelings that we've got. Mistwalker, flyers are very good in this format. That is a thing that I know. This is a 2-mana 2/2 changeling. It's the battlefield. If you control 3 or more creatures that share a type, put a counter on it, and then scry one. We'd need a few more changelings than that, wouldn't we? I should also be looking at colourless cards. I forgot about that. Gold Vein Pick. That's ramp. Can foretell out a 2/3 on turn 3. When it attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. It's card draw, sort of. Is it good card draw? I'm going to say no. The Crew 3 seems quite difficult. I'm going to get that in here as well. Oh, let me check that that's not doing anything weird. It should be only showing me 2s, 3s, and 4s according to what I'd selected, but apparently not. To make sure I get my snows in there as well. Snow-covered swamp, volatile fjord, and then it's suggested in the rest for me, which is fine. Usually I cut a land because I'm weird, and I don't like I don't like the lands that it always suggests. I always find that if I cut one, nothing ever goes wrong. Well, nothing additionally goes wrong. If I was going to get mana screwed, I feel like I was just getting mana screwed anyway, and I still get flooded on one less land as well. So it's one way of dodging those 41 card specials. What about a Gates of Istvel? Can't really splash that. No, I'd have to put planes in my deck, and that's not happening. I guess you could do it off the Gold Vein pick. But that's kind of really it. Alright. Creature-wise, 11. That seems a little low to me. Let's work on making that not so low, I suppose. What about +1/+1 trample, draw a card? I could even attach it to my Gold Vein pick, so this is a +2/+2 trample. Seems cute. I like it. You are a flyer. Say no more. You're also a snow creature. Flying seems very good. In fact, let me have a look and see if I'm missing any of the flyers. Nope, we have literally all the flyers we own right here, right now. Cool. 2 more cards to add. Could add a bit of Death Touch. My early game seems strange. Our removal seems fine. It's not the strongest removal in the world, but... Oh, this way down's like pretty easy to justify, right? I'm not using my graveyard except for Nafi, who doesn't require any graveyard exiling. And then it's basically, as long as we've got a creature, we have removal for 1 mana. Yeah. Deal. Again, this kind of feels like it should be decent. These Wither Crowns, I've seen people use them. They seem relatively effective. What about giving Reach? Giving Reach in a flyer-heavy format, again, could be reasonable. I say flyer-heavy. It's not flyer-heavy, it's difficult to deal with flying format. Guess that's one way of putting it. I think that's maybe justifiable. Let's get it in here. We can just equip it to any creature and then suddenly it can block most flyers. We do have a couple to block as well, but they're not the greatest blockers in the world. I am at the point now where I'm cutting cards as well, so maybe we want to just like consider 12 creatures. I feel like I want a counterspell in my hand. It just seems pretty useful. I'm wondering if I have enough creatures in my deck at 12, sorry. I think you need it like 14 or something like that. I think that's the average. I'm more control heavy though, so I can kind of rely on that a little bit, but... And I am also generating creatures with the Bears of Litjara. And I draw a fair few cards. So maybe it's okay. We could just give this a shot as it is. 38, 38, 46. Alright, so based off of my early game, I want to dump an island. There we go. Let's try this out. If you do enjoy the content anyway, guys, let me know down below, and maybe I'll do a sealed next time the next format, Strixhaven, I think, comes out. I'd be happy to do that. I'm currently testing out the theory as to whether or not building a collection off a sealed is better than just opening packs, and so far it seems like it is the case. We get to, you know, open packs and have some fun with it along the way as well. So there is that. This seems like a super cool deck, and I think we've got one of the best mythics in the format as well, so should be interesting. But yeah, like and subscribe if you do enjoy, guys. Let me know down below what you would have built as well. I'm always curious to see if I've made a colossal error. Most of the time you tell me anyway, so yeah, we'll see, shall we? Let me know anyway, and let's get to the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, I go first. We have either Foretelling Saw It Coming or the Glade Walker. We actually have a pretty reasonable hand, I would say. It's missing black for Wither Crown, but I feel like this is a card you don't want to just fire off at any old 2-drop, so I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to see how we do. Question is whether or not I should actually Foretell Saw It Coming. If I don't draw another blue source, I can't cast it on 3 regardless, so I probably should be foretelling it over random 1/1. Because I could make this a 3/4 as well, if I really wanted to. Yeah, I think I might do that. Sows doubt in our opponent as well, makes them question whether or not they should be playing the cards that they want to play. Which is always cool. They foretell. They might have the same thing, they could also have the Mind Rot as well. So I think we're just going to go with a 2-3 down here. Try and make it a 3-4 with the Glade Walker later. Hopefully off of a land drop, because we can go Glade Walker and hold up encounters then, to protect our Icehide Troll, if we want to. Swamp would be nice, obviously, for the Valkyrie as well. Raven Form. I did see a post from LSV, actually, calling this card kind of a trap. As I mentioned, like, in the deck building portion, the nature of, like, flying creatures being kind of hard to deal with makes this 1/1 not an easy to deal with card a lot of the time. So I'm going to turn it into a 2/2 and start beating down with it. Yeah, he said something along the lines of a lot of the times the things that you are exiling with Raven Form are much better than being beaten down with the 1/1 flyer. especially towards the later half of the game. Ooh, they got Replicating Ring. We got Bears of Lit Jar as well. That's a really nice pickup, as long as our opponent doesn't have Sight coming, which I think we have officially confirmed. But I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm getting 2 4/4s next turn. So it could be a Sultai Splash, could just be that Replicating Ring is a card. Okay, they spent some snow, so they get to tap and maintain the tap. Question is, what they're going to go for. They're going to change the 2/2 to tap. I would have gone for the flyer most of all, because at least, well, that makes sense. They have quite a lot of value here. Any number of shapeshifters have base power and toughness 4/4. Both of these, please. So this would be where a Wither Crown looks kind of nice, except for it be like a 5/1. Also, a land would have been fantastic, and this Undersea Invader is looking pretty bad as well. 5 mana 5/5. I'd consider that reasonable counter value. I don't have anything to stop it right now, so... Oof. Choose up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Each creature with power 4 or greater you control deals damage equal to its power to that permanent. Now that's wicked. I think Bears is a absolute bomb if you've got even a couple of shapeshifters in play. Now I'm threatening lethal. And as long as I draw black mana, I can force our opponent to just chump block with a lot of their stuff. Oof. Blood on the Snow. Also a bomb. So I can tap the... No, I can't tap the Replicating Ring because I haven't drawn any of my snow. Oh no, I've got Rimewood Falls. Cool. So I'm just getting this out here for pressure. I need a little bit of it. I'm also wondering whether or not my swamp count is quite where it wants to be. Well, that's a thing. I think we're getting in. Our opponent can not really block very well. And then I can flash in this Invader to try and threaten lethal. So far this has been slightly clunky. I'm going to have a little quick look at the mana base just to make sure that my swamp count is actually what I thought it was, because if I'm being completely honest, I just trusted the game. We're going to get rid of these Wither Crowns. I'm flashing in an Undersea Invader. So that should mean that our opponent is dead, unless they saw it coming. Disdainful Stroke, okay. Well, still looking at quite a fair bit of power here. So I can hit for 5, or I can play a 2/2. I might as well just hit for 5 with Nafi. Get him out there. He's putting pressure on the board as well, so they need two blockers or another Blood on the Snow, essentially, to deal with that, and, well, they didn't. Alright. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm quite happy with how that went, for sure, because we won. It's kind of, you know, difficult not to be too pleased about about winning in general. Ooh, we even got a Kaldheim pack. Would you look at that? And 4 Surtland Elementalists. Alright. I crafted one of these at one point, so one of those was wasted. I got 3. Alright, let's go open that Kaldheim pack, and then we'll move on to the next game, I suppose. Yeah, I'm at 79.8 with my collection filled in. Most of that is probably the commons and uncommons that beforehand I pre-crafted in order to, you know, get some vault progress, which we're at 148 right now. Guess I gotta think about this card in the future. Forgot this one existed. -3 to something that's not what you select. It doesn't work on changelings, though. That's kind of its trade-off that makes it somewhat bad. But yeah, alright, next game. Okay, we go first. We got no green mana, unfortunately, but we do have a pick and a Wither Crown. I actually checked my mana base between games, and black is my most presented colour on my mana base, so that's saying something. As far as getting off to a good start here, other than tech pieces, most of my early game is kind of green that I really want. I don't think I can keep a hand that looks like this. I have nothing to equip the Gold Vein pick to. The Sculptor can't ramp me. Can't play the Troll. I think we take a Mull. Okay. This is somewhat better. Don't have the black for Wither Crown, but I guess I could bottom that, and then we can foretell the Skull Raid on turn 2 as our turn 2 play into High Side Troll. That seems okay. Berg Strider. Well, we have our Snowlands, so that's nice. Let's get that Skull Raid done. I actually quite like the tap lands in this format. They're very useful at getting what you need to be done in the early game. It's like you always want to tap land if you're gonna just, you know, do nothing. So tap land into any untapped land into just foretelling something seems really nice. And flows wonderfully. I think it's between Mistwalker and Eyeside Troll, obviously. This one's unprotected, but it has more damage potential. This one also has a fair bit of damage potential and is less likely to be blocked. So I'm going to play that one first, I think. And then I guess we hope for a swamp here so we can decide between Skull Raid and the Troll. Bind the monster. Alright. Mistwalker dealt with. So do I want to keep the pressure up? I like that idea, mostly because I have Nafi to potentially pump the Troll into a 3/4 off of a land. And if we draw one more Snowland as well, we can return him constantly, which should be lovely, as long as our opponent doesn't have more removal of this style. Alright, so I can actually attack in for 1 if I don't sack and I draw a land. I'm going to draw a land, because I'm really good at Magic the Gathering. So I'm going to take 1 to deal 1. Oh, yeah, this is a shapeshifter, so it gets the zombie +1. That's nice. I could potentially get a Binding of the Old Gods as well to deal with this Bind the Monster. Which would be a nice pickup, I guess. Though I imagine something our opponent could play would be much worse. They also have a Nafi. I will not sack. So here I'm thinking that I go for Binding to destroy Nafi. They can technically get it back, but once they get it back, it's going to cost them 3 of their snow mana, and then I can Berg Strider to tap it down. If I don't get rid of it now, I don't get this Eyeside Troll damage in, and I don't get the ramp. So I like blowing him up here. I think that Death Touch on Chapter 3 is going to be surprisingly effective when the time comes. I'm going to decline sacking that, please. Thank you. Search my library for a forest. It's going to have to be a forest, unfortunately. No snow forests or anything like that. Only 2 snow swamps, so no Nafi returning. I think I'll go for a Skull Raid, limit their options, and then play the Eyeside Troll. This does also get +2/+0. Gotta remember that it's not just indestructible for the snow mana there. So I could attack for 2 extra here if I really wanted to. Grim Draugr and the Mill 3 individual. Alright, let's get in. I want to play around removal by not playing Eyeside Troll first. Oh, Exile! Oh, that's a bad one. You would have that, wouldn't you? You meanie. Alright, this troll's kind of losing its value. Although if we pump some points into it, who knows? Maybe we want to do that. I think we might want to pump some points into it. I'm going to decline. Got a Wither Crown of our own. Our creatures gain Death Touch. We're going to swing. I'll pay for this so we can get that pressure on. Yeah, our opponent can get that Invader in. And we can make it a 0/6. It's a good blocker. But we can pump through it. How long can they keep their Wither Crown up? Let's decline. Undersea Invader our own, but we don't have the double blue. So I can get in nothing really. I can tap down the Augury Raven with some snow mana here. It just doesn't let me push through because I'm 1 snowland short of pumping this Eyeside Troll. Let's get you tapped down though, let's pass the turn. I'm considering getting rid of this Wither Crown now. It might be more of a hindrance than a help at this point, but... Interesting, they got rid of it. Well, I'm certainly not snapping that on off anymore. Yep. 4, 5, 6, pump for 7, 8. That's why I don't know why they got rid of that. Because that would have prevented lethal, but... I don't know, maybe they just thought, I've got no hope of getting out of this one. It is a pretty hard to beat board state. I mean, they've shown us that they do have Exile, which is very rare in this format, I believe. And they do have some removal, but this is painful removal, and that was expensive removal, so it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, managed to leverage that one quite nicely. I like this deck. Alright. So we got a bit screwed on black mana, even though it's the most represented mana in our deck. Turns out it wasn't a problem. We're now 2-0. So I have netted at this point 600 gems that I wouldn't have normally got if I simply opened up packs. Those 600 gems, I think, are basically worth the 5th and 6th copies and lack of wildcards, essentially, because they contribute towards another sealed run, in theory, and just make this whole ordeal much, much cheaper. So I don't know. I'm feeling like sealed's pretty good value. I'm curious though, you guys let me know what you think of this particular strategy for building a collection. If you guys have been doing anything similar. I know I've got a lot of limited folk in my channel, maybe not so much in general that watch the videos, but I know a lot of you play limited whether you like it or not. So yeah, let me know what you think of sealed grinding anyway, yeah, in the comment section below, and without further ado, let's get to the third game. Alright, I go first. First sign of Coma the Cosmos Serpent as well. In an otherwise, unfortunately, quite slow hand. So it's a bit of a weird one. We can go to from 4 with Binding up to potentially 6. And I feel like we win if we get Coma. It's just the rest of this hand doesn't really do anything. There's no pressure, no real interactions. It's a bit of a weird one. This could be my first loss if I keep it. But I think y'all know I'm too stupid to mulligan that one away. YOLO. YOLO, chat. You know me. You knew I was going to hit that keep button. You could hear it in the tone of my voice, don't lie. So yeah, we just need 2 islands now, and our opponent... not the most aggressive deck, so we've kind of dodged a little bit of a bullet here. Yeah, I think we want to go Troll first. We can either now remove with Binding the Old Gods, or go for Gladewalker plus Way Down if our opponent kills it. Opponent's on the old Murica, red, white, and blue. Okay. So they don't have the snow mana right now to use something like Frostbite, which is 3 if you've got 3 snow mana. So I think a 3/4 right now is pretty reasonable. If we got bears, then this would be getting pumped on its own anyway, up to a 4/4, so... play something really spicy so I can kill it. I need a good reason to use this. Untap it, put a counter on it. Right, well, so Wither Crown wouldn't really do a great deal against that, is what you're saying. So let's get that bound. Also allows me to ramp out a blue source with the Chapter 2. A Snowland source at that. So, solid pressure. We can keep them down with the Wither Crown. Rhymes, so it must be true. If they kill my troll, I've got Way Down active then as well, so we can keep killing their stuff until Coma comes down. If they're playing control, they are dead. I think simply put, they are dead. As long as I don't royally bugger this up. Master Scald. Hang on. Rimewood Falls, please. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, return an artifact or enchantment. Okay, so it's just a 4/4. If I don't bind it, our opponent stops taking 3 a turn. Guess at least until Chapter 3 goes off on binding anyway. Yeah, maybe I'll just turn it into a 0/4. I think that's okay. Get him for 1. Unless they think I've got pump magic. Do you think I've got some pump magic? They absolutely do. So they weren't planning on blocking, are they planning on keeping it? Alright, what they did there made no sense. If they were going to get rid of it, then they might as well block with it, assuming that I was going to make it disappear. That's the theory. So we are just a blue source away. Unfortunately, Binding can't get that, because we only got 1 Rimewood in our sealed pool. So we're going to need just a good old-fashioned island off the top. Ooh, Iron Verdict. Nice. This is sorcery speed. And that's a 1/1. So, let's get in with a 1/1 Death Touch. And then think to ourselves what we want to be doing here. I could get rid of another Master Scald. This is, unfortunately, a sorcery. Does have the targets to do the -3/-3, but it's just not gonna quite cut it. It feels weird to bind it, to be honest. I almost feel like it's a waste and our opponent's gonna drop down something much worse, but I couldn't tell you what that much worse thing is. I think I'm just gonna go with the Eyeside Troll. I genuinely don't know. I don't know if I should kill that just yet. Waiting just seems like it might have some value. Pacifism or my troll. So they could get in and then I could bind the pacifism. which is damage they might not be expecting. Put some on chump blocks eventually as well, especially once binding gets to chapter 3 and these become death touches. Around that time they will be forced blocks. Say Mist Walker. We are one short of casting it, unfortunately. Artifact and enchantments cost 1 less, so we can do only way down or binding. I think we want to go binding. And get rid of this bounding gold. So I can still attack through. I think I've got the life total really to take the hit on the crap back, and I can always block with the Guardian if the Master Scald looks a bit spooky. I don't know if I'd do that though. Love to see it. Opponents on the defense. It's getting very scary for them. That gives an Anthem on Boast. Gotta be careful with that. Bears is real good. So I could do Bears make a 2/2. All of these can fight the Master Scald. I could even do then a Way Down. To kill the Batter Shield Warrior. And then I've got Death Touch to swing through next turn. I think that's okay. This 1/1 and this 2/2 are going to be 4/4s as well. With Death Touch. Opponent's in a lot of trouble. They need a Doomscar. I think that's the route. They're in the colours for it. Take their bluff here. It could be the attack before the wipe. But I doubt it. I think it's the bait before the concede, to be honest. Alright, these are 4/4s. They have Death Touch. Good game. So, they can not block 1/4/4, but after that they are forced to block everything else. So that means they're going to lose this Haggy Mob, no matter where they block. I actually have the Snow Mana here to pump with the Eyeside Troll to give it indestructible as well. So we're actually swinging for 12. 8 unblocked damage right here. Some of it indestructible. It would mean that we can't play the Mistwalker. But, you know, that's really the only downside to that. Alright. We're entering the Super Winners bracket, I think. This is where things start to get spooky, where our opponents start to have decks that are probably a little bit more refined, a little bit more, fortunately, rare dense than our own. Still haven't managed to get that Coma in play, though. The islands just aren't quite letting us get there, it seems. But, I mean, 3-0. It's 2,000 gems in, and we've got 1,200 gems coming back in 3 packs. So I think we've already made our money back, to be honest. 800 gems for 6 15-card packs that don't have duplicate protection or wildcard tracking. And then you just get 3 packs that do for 800 gems. So it's getting there. I think 800 gems is the price of these 3 packs, funnily enough. So these, I think officially once we're now 3 wins in, these 6 15-card packs were completely free. I think that's how that works out. It's the math in my head anyway. Who knows if it's true. Math in my head is very weird. My head's very weird. But let's keep going. You go first. We have blue and black. We have 1 mana essentially away from Mistwalker being castable. Such a strange little hand that I'm tempted to keep. It just needs a land and it's unlocked, and it preferably has to be a green source. We've been getting lucky. That's maybe about time to change. But you know, I'm just going to keep pushing it. Okay. Well, we got a land. It's better than no land, I suppose. It does mean that we can at least cast Mistwalker next turn, so we bought ourselves a little bit of time, but this hand now definitely requires green mana. Very green dependent. Behold the Multiverse was their foretelled card. I have one of those, right? I think I put it in my deck. Yeah, I got one. We haven't seen it yet. But I got one. 2 to the top. Always spooky. And they got to bind the monster? Yeah. Alright. Well, better lucky than good. Let's get down the troll. We also have 2 snow mana now as well, so we can make that indestructible and play Rune of Might at the same time. In Search of Greatness. So I would love a Binding of the Old Gods and not to get locked down like that, but that's okay. So now I have to pay in order to make Eyeside Troll deal damage. There's nothing I can do about that. Could just play another one. I think just playing another one's fine. And yeah, that leaves me with enough to attack for 1. I might as well. They're not in the colours really to board wipe me. This In Search of Greatness though can be pretty bad for us if we don't answer it quicker. Ugh, 4/5 with hexproof. So I'm gonna... What am I gonna do? It's the extra 1 toughness that really seals the deal on that one. So I can make this 3 for 5 on the attack and then chump it on the way back maybe. This is a redraw as well, which is kind of why I'm into it. And in order to use Glimpse, I have to use my snow mana, so that doesn't work for me. See if you want to foolishly block. You don't. That's okay. I think I just do the 3 and then play Glimpse. Try and find the bind them of the Old Gods. There we go. Is this the thing that gives them hexproof as well? It is. Alright. Might want to consider that. We have Shapeshifters, so we can play Glimpse next turn as well. Glimpse plus Binding seems okay. They too have a Glimpse and a Giant in play. Mistwalker is our Giant, if it wasn't immediately obvious. I guess one of the downsides of binding a Shapeshifter is that you don't really prevent any of the god tier value of tribal synergy. I have to get rid of this card. I think it's just too good for now. At the beginning of upkeep, you may cast a permanent from your hand equal to 1 plus the highest converting mana cost. Otherwise, you're scrying 1. I think even the scry one every single turn is not good for me. But maybe I overvalue it. I am gonna take the 4 for now. I can't help but feel this troll is going to be valuable later. Oh, actually, hang on. Hexproof as long as it's untapped. Interesting. Okay. That changes things. It is an equipment, so I still might want to kill it anyway. I might Wither Crown it. Get rid of you. Wither Crown you. Now you're a 0/5. We got Saw It Coming and a Sorulf. Never a permanent an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it's got one or more counters on it, you may remove all of them. If you do, exile each other non-land permanent with converted mana costs equal to less than the number of the counters removed this way, or a counter spell. I like the counter spell. There's no point doing that. We'll pass. So I'm going to get rid of the token. It unattaches the Giant's Amulet. Which again might be a problem down the line. If it can get attached to something I don't like. But we have 2 more bindings left, I think. 1 more binding. Something like that. I'm not sure. Citrus Forest. Let me get this island forest, please. Foretell you. Get in here. With the threat of indestructibility and a bad block. We take those. And then they do have the capability here to equip the Eyeside Troll with the Hexproof, which means it'll be Hexproof, untapped, and indestructible when it attacks if they want it to be, which is pretty gross. And yeah, I think we want to get a 4/4 out there. Let me just check. It's only +1, +0/+1. So let's get rid of this Eyeside Troll for now. I don't really want it to be the card they equip the amulet to. Oh no. Oh no. Well, couldn't really stop that no matter what. We have Death Touch though. So we have that going for us. Let's go to combat. See if they start sacking. They don't. So they have a block and sack on the Bergstrider to give indestructible. I would be forced to play the 2 on whatever gets blocked. Just doesn't seem like good value to me. This leaves me with the mana for a Goldvein pick play, but no equip at the same time, and I can't Saw It Coming and Invader at the same time. I'm just going to play this in auto pass. Feels weird, but indestructible and Death Touch don't really mix. We're going to need our own Coma to keep up with Coma Chameleon over there. Also, it's probably going to be hexproof. So, rip this game, I think. I'm going to go out on a limb and say rip this game. I'm going to make you use the Serpents to get rid of that. going to get in with the Mistwalker. Yeah, if they use Coma defensively, there's not much I can do either. Binding is useless. Yeah, I just don't see how we win this. I truly do not. We are eventually just going to get overwhelmed. I could get rid of the Mistwalker, but then they can just tap down my entire team with all these serpents. They're going to have 4 serpents, they can tap down my whole board. That's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm just dead. Straight up. Coma's hard to beat, man. That's why we put in a deck. That's why we went Simic. It's hard to beat. We have, I would say, literally no answers to it that are good. I guess Serulf is kind of a thing. Gets rid of the tokens at the very least. That's really about it, but yeah, we're just going to scoop to this. I'm not going to make them do lethal. I'm just going to assume that they know it's lethal. I'm not winning through it either way. Eventually they will win. It's just a waste of my time and yours to play that out any further, I would say. Alright. 3-1, I think. 3-1? Yeah, okay. I'm happy with 4 or 5. 4 and 5 and I'll be happy. I'm not that good at drafting. Or sealed, in this case. So, you know, any reasonable result is fine by me. I'm happy being mediocre. Let's go to the next game. Oh my. We're in an interesting matchup, to say the least. I think we can keep this hand off the value of Sculptor of Winter. We're up against Alias V. Known limited player and famous streamer. I'm assuming it's literally Alias. I'm going to keep it. I could get screwed very easily, though. But we'll give it a shot. Say hello to Madam Streamer. Not going to be an easy one. I like our hand, though. It's shaping out quite nicely. I think it's important we get the Sculptor down as early as possible. We now can get in for 2 as well and play Serulf, which is cute. I think that's what we want to do. Could also not deal 2 in order to play the Volatile Fjord, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a bad idea. Let's get you in there. I mean, the reason to do that would be to have blue in play for Nafi, I suppose. But I could just as easily draw a blue land. And next turn I can play the Fjord plus Ice Troll. Oh my god. That is a battle mammoth, chat. That is a battle mammoth. Alright, no targeting for me. Not happening. That is a 6/5 that when you target any of our opponent's spells, they draw a card. I will take it. Got quite a nice attack if we actually get to play Nafi as well. And have a reasonable attack into whatever our opponent's playing. A Pretender. Okay. On Elf. It's probably because they're planning on dropping a big boy Elf. That could not have come any quicker. Alright, binding on Battle Mammoth. Thank you. Hopefully they don't have a demonic something. There's a card that says whenever it dies, it comes back. We're about to give them the chance to draw into it as well, so... could be a bit of a weird one. Poison the cup on Sarulf. Yeah. Gonna have to let that one go. We got rid of Battle Mammoth at least. That's a 6/5 trample that's not gonna do anything crazy anymore. We're ramping next turn, so we can play like Valkyrie or Skull Raid. Skull Raid seems pretty reasonable. And they'll play an elf. They named it enough to not probably not want to block here. Yeah. I don't think you name elf unless you have an elf. So, you know. If we hold back, they've got a 3/3. Ooh, Broken Wings. This is probably the best time to do Way Down on Pretender. So let's get that out of there. Let's float. Unfloat. I think we're eating their hand rather than playing a 2/2. Put them on top decks. Oh yeah, that was definitely worth it. Redraw and Large Boy. That's a 6/6, I think, right? Yeah, a 6/6 that gains 4. Pretty sweet deck. I'll say that much. But is ours just ever so sweeter? Let's get Narfi in there. Swing for 6, threaten lethal for next turn, maybe. It's a possibility. It's a decent blocker as well. Haggy Mob. This is pay 1, equip 1. I like it. And then we've even got the 2 for the Eyeside Troll activation. So this is 6 points of damage or a chump block. It's going to be a chump block. Love to see it. Oh, it's only lands, isn't it? It's not snow permanents. Okay. This is so close. Haggy Mob was a really good hit for them because it's just a really nice threatening beater that I might be forced to block with Narfi. And hope I draw a Snowland to bring him back again. Their main issue is essentially that I can swing back. I think my board is scarier. Am I blocking? It's 1 damage to any target. I think I'm going to go for the double block. It feels like a bluff to me. Now I've got rebuilding power as well. And a decent attacker that's much better than what they've got left behind. Presumably. Oh, is this reanimation? It's not blood on the snow. Wouldn't be that good even if it was, because I can go on indestructible. Sack a creature, 3 damage to any target. Each player discards a card. Reanimate. Okay. Could I have... Oh, actually, could I have floated mana in the previous turn? In order to reanimate Nafi post-combat? I feel like that was an option that I have dodged. I was hoping for a land. An untapped land specifically, but I guess this also works. Keep Shimmervale Drift for the Vicious Return. Ooh, Waking of the Trolls. And that's that. Good game. Wow, okay. I love this deck. I love Sealed. This deck's making me feel happy. I am happy when I play this. That was such a good game, though. GG, Alias. I know you probably won't watch this, but GG nonetheless. It was a joy playing against you. We are now 4-1. I have hit my target for being happy with this draft. So that's very nice. Very nice indeed. Alright, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get on to the next one. Alright, we play first. We have only blue mana. But I've been colour screwed in my opening hand several times before and YOLO'd it. This hand's otherwise not that good though, right? I mean, it's got 2 3-drops which are quite reasonable. I've been quite impressed with Eyeside Troll. As long as you can enable this, it's pretty dope. Yeah, this is just a safe mull, I think. Much better actually. We got a turn 2 or a turn 2, plus turn 3 or a turn 3, turn 4 equip, swing in, get going. Gold Vein Pick, damage to players, gives us the treasure to do any blue mana shenanigans. So where do we want to cut our card from? I want to keep my creatures, so I think it's Wither Crown. Gold Vein Pick, I might need it in order to generate good mana. These aren't snow treasures, are they? Why aren't they snow treasures? Is that too broken? I think this would probably be a bomb if it were snow treasures. But maybe it's about time we had bombs of that particular quality. Maybe it's time. Alright, Gold Vein Pick, go. I think we're going to go Serulf over Icehide Troll first. Serulf, if he got bound the monster or anything like that, then we could just keep ticking up counters on it and use that. Whereas Icehide Troll just becomes useless. I don't know. We'll see. If we can connect with Serulf, though, as a 4-4, we get to play Troll and Glade Walker. We actually get to put a counter on Serulf. Funnily enough, take it off and kill the raptor. So our opponent kind of needs to answer it. What's the mana on Iron Verdict? I know it's a Foretold card. So if they foretell with white open, I know they've got Iron Verdict. Not a concern. Whatever. Whatever it may be. Let's get in, make a treasure. That opens up Nafi. I think we're going to go with Glade Walker, put a counter on Serulf, kill the 1-drop. When does this actually go off? Non-land permanent equal to... less than or equal to the number, so I would lose my treasure token. Something to keep in mind. At the price of just a Battlefield Raptor. Otherwise, I could just keep growing Serulf until he's an absolute unstoppable monster. Ingot Rune Eyes. I think if 3 creatures die, you draw, right? Yeah. So we've got to make sure to attack in the right way. I think because I've got Eyesight Troll, I'm just going to take this. I wouldn't really want my counters to go up any higher than this. So otherwise I blow up my own stuff. Bergstrider. Get on in. Get a treasure. Pass the turn. This is a race. This feels like a race. Maybe it's not a race I should be racing, but here we are. I should probably also be re-equipping as I go. It's maybe a thing I should be doing. So our opponent's planning on blocking Sir Rolf. That's their idea here. I have no snow for Bergstrider. Let's get Nafi into play. It's a pump and a pump. Is there a value in moving over the pick? The value is I turn Gladewalker into a 3/3 and I'm attacking with 3 3/3s. It's an easier block on Sir Rolf though. Sir Rolf's kind of not really getting double block value anyway though. So I think what they want to do is essentially they want to try and get Inga to trigger. So if I just got in with the Eyesight Troll, they would block with just the Mistwalker. Or maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they wouldn't. If I go for 2 attacks here, they double block, we trade, and then they trade 1 here, the drawing off of Inga. Let's see what they do with this. If they block with Mistwalker and that's it, no harm, no foul. Alright. Damage has not been dealt here. Behold the multiverse. I just need snow mana. Just give me some snow mana so I can tap Bergstrider down. Oh no. Well, that's snow mana, but good lord, is that bad. That is so bad. So now whenever they play a land, they get a 2/2 basically. That'll kill me. That's probably up there with Coma, right? I've got to imagine. That's just as bad. If I have a 4/5 here, it still doesn't really go through the Mistwalker. This is my major problem right here, this card. I think I just pass and hope our opponent doesn't just constantly hit Marja value. Is it Marja? Is it Maha? Marja? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Madja. Madja sounds alright. Opponent should just be hitting me relentlessly with Mistwalker. Maybe pumping if they've got nothing better to do. Yeah, I'm gonna die to that pretty quickly. Lands? Foretold a card. So I'm going to pay for the tapping of Inga here, because I think Inga has to die alongside 2 other creatures. So let's get you out the way. Makes our attacks a little bit sexier. And then short of them having a pump spell, we've got good block, good block, good block. Guardian Glade Walker for them is just a free block. I think because we've got the Bergstrider and the Glade Walker, I think we should get some pressure on. I can also re-equip the pick over to the Glade Walker and make it a 3-3 to block the Story Seeker. If it comes to it. Need to get them as low as possible so that every single attack we make is one that they have to block. That's the pressure I want to maintain here. If I can. I'm also just happy for Nafi to die to Story Seeker if it means getting it off the board. I can always get Nafi back later anyway. Bounces Sarulf. Takes the rest. Okay. Equip you up, pass a turn. I wasn't expecting a Disperse, to be honest. That went so quickly, did they find anything? Oh, 1 blue mana, please. Give me 1 blue mana. Alright, let's have a look at this. So, good attack. Good attack. Good attack. I mean, is it all good attacks? I think it's all good attacks, yeah. Let's just send it. And then we'll re-equip the pick over to Sarulf, make a 4-4. It's like we're losing Nafi, but the pressure we're putting on right now I think is fine. I just need 1 untapped island and then this game is over. Coma will absolutely destroy. So we're getting to keep Nafi here. Our opponent's losing a Story Seeker and they're taking 6. Up to 4. That's a blue mana we need as well off the pick, right? Lovely. Alright. Question is, do we win or lose right now? I think that's the question. We either win or lose right now. I don't think that thing can do 11. They can. 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh god. Yeah, I think that's enough, right? No first strike on Sarulf. Alrund's Epiphany. Wow. 2, 4, 6, 8. Then a pump. We lose. Wow! That's so tilting. That is exactly lethal. Oh my goodness. There's nothing we can do against that, because playing against the only extra turn spell in the format's not a good idea. We had no flyers, so we couldn't hold one back. I don't know, if we'd have got a Sarulf trigger, we could got rid of the bird tokens, but that's literally it. We needed this Coma to come down, so... What did I play on 4 here? I replayed Sarulf, didn't I? If I didn't replay Sarulf, would I have had the mana untapped? I actually don't remember. Maybe I would have had the mana untapped for Coma and then I would have won that game. It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. I'm sure the rest of you guys can look back on that. I'm not gonna, you know, hang on losses or anything like that, because I'm already in a good spot. I'm 4-2. Let's just be happy we're as far as we are, and then go to what might be the final game. Let's go. I go first. I have some interesting cards. They don't particularly do anything useful. It's basically all my control pieces stacked into one with no blue mana. I'm going to hit the mull on that one. This one looks much better. We'll bottom the Undersea Invader, and then we've got the Sculptor of Winter, Bears, and Rune of Might left over. Turn 1 tap land. Always tasty. Say hello to our hopefully lovely opponent. So we have a turn 2 Hailstorm Valkyrie. That's nice. Opponent foretells a card in Simic, so it could be a counterspell. I think it's important to get this Valkyrie out, because I'm going to stick a Runemite on it as well. Possibly, anyway. Maybe it's Bears. Could also be early for Bears. Who knows? Because, you know, we can always find more shapeshifters down the line. Ooh, they got the Elven Bow with a 2/3 Reacher. That's okay, though, because we had a contingency for this, which was make a 3/3, redraw. This is going to go on blue. I don't think I want to kill the Elven Bow target just yet. Blue, because if we draw Coma, we finally get to cast the damn thing. Okay. We even now have the activation as well, so it's now a 5/5 flying trample if we want to just use the mana there. It does cost us the ability to play Bears, though, so maybe we want to be doing that first. It's entirely possible. Spirit of the Aldergard. Alright. 0 snow permanents in play, but it can go get one. And that's a bear that we can fight with our bears. I suppose. So this gets +1/+0 for each other snow permanent, and then this also says base power 0, so this doesn't work on Spirit the Aldergard. Fun fact. So, actually, if we don't get in with Sculptor of Winter, we can play Bears and Pump. Because these untap for blue. So we can get him for 5. Untap this Rimewood Falls. Play Bears of Litjara, make a 2/2, which is going to be a 4/4. Which can then fight the Spirit. This feels pretty nice. It can all crumble down, I guess, if they find an answer to the Valkyrie. Still, though, I've got high hopes. It pushes through most flyers in the format as well. No! It's crumbling, chat. It's all crumbling down like I predicted it would. I like doing this to myself. Play the Swamp. We're actually missing 1 green. If we was to top deck Coma, we couldn't do anything with it. Interestingly. Actually, no, we've got the Sculptor of Winter again, so that's okay. I don't think a 2/3 is worth a Wither Crown. This can be solid removal when our opponent's life total's too low to pay for it as well. Okay. Behold the multiverse. So interestingly, they've chosen not to block with the Spirit of the Aldergard under the assumption that I'm going to kill it anyway, which is fair. It's going to get him for 1 point, maybe. Maybe 2 if they've got another... I think it's just any snow permanent, right? Each other snow permanent, yeah. 2 to the bottom, love to see it. They might have just like a bounce spell for this 4/4, which would fizzle chapter 3. I'm gonna need something good. Because I have a feeling, a very sneaky feeling that our opponent is stabilizing. And I'm not into that. That's a 3-6. Okay. Alright. You see what I mean, chap? I felt it. Deep down in my core, I knew our opponent was stabilizing. Gets in for 2. Deal. They've got so many cards on me now as well. So you... Oh! Oops. I was going to say you fight you instead of the Spirit of the Older Guard, but that's okay. I didn't want to fight you anyway. I mean, this just feels like a shame scoop to me. It honestly does. Let's get rid of this token, I suppose. I feel great shame. Greater shame has never been felt. I've even used that card before, so I can't even use that as an excuse. I literally just assumed it was you fight you, which usually fight spells are, but... most fight spells are worded like this as well. That's my defense. I won't argue it much more than that. Oh my god, a Seeker's Chariot? Are you kidding me? Coma! Coma, come to me! Please. You're my only out. I think literally you're my only out. So when we lose, we'll assume that this thing wasn't here and we'll account for all the damage that it shouldn't have dealt. When we consider how close we were to winning. Because what happened there wouldn't have happened in paper, but that's about it. That's not a thing that happens in paper. There's an island. We pass. We snooze. Yeah, I mean, a Seeker's Chariot's getting in for 4 now, maybe. I don't know. We can block with Eyeside Troll and take 10, 11. And at the cost of trying to kill the Chariot, which may or may not work. Asa feels bad as well, because I feel like we might have had a chance here. Not to mention the clutch Broken Wings as well. 2 turns of not drawing that Broken Wings and we win. Because our opponent hasn't shown us, I don't think, a single thing that could have beaten it up until now. So it makes a token of the kitty cat. This taps. I'm just gonna leave. I'm so bad. I'm just so bad. I take it back, chat. I do feel bad about how this game ended, because that was just stupid. that was punt after punt after punt. Yeah, 4 and 3 in the end. I did say I'd be happy with 4 or 5 wins. And, you know, I'm honest. I am still happy with that. I'm just really upset with myself over that last game. I don't know what happened. I really don't. There was some god drawing from our opponent. I think you could also make an argument to say, and I'm going to right now, I'm going to make the argument that I couldn't have won no matter what I drew, except for if it was Coma. Ooh, Salt in the Wound. Salt in the damn wound. Draga Necromancer. To 80% on our Kaldheim. Most of those are the mythics I will never collect, by the way, so don't let that deceive you. Pathway, solid, need them. And the final Kaldheim card. Nafi. Actually, like, an amazing card. I absolutely love this. Never once did we see Behold the Multiverse in our 40 card pile. Bind the Gods, use plenty against us. Poison the Cup, use once. Cosima, I think the jury's officially sold on this card being pretty crap. It has the potential to be very good and steamroll as long as it waits 16 turns in order to get exiled, draw loads of lands, and come back. Other than that, though, it's absolutely useless from my understanding, which is a shame, because I kind of like Cosima. But yeah, the more I read her, the more I see people play her, the worse I think this card gets. It gets worse every time I see someone play her. I've not seen anyone justify this card being good. As much as they maybe lie to themselves and say that it is, it isn't. It's very bad. It's very bad. I'm just going to say that. We still maybe will make a Cosmia deck, but there's no way that this card goes in a good deck. Mark my words. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. It's a bit of a shame it ended the way it did, but I had fun nonetheless. And, you know, maybe I'll go back in after feeling as defeated as I was, making multiple punts. I actually, in the entire time we played that troll, didn't realise that Tap It was written on it as well. Because I only used it offensively, I never used it on the defense. But, you know, again, we weren't winning that. Don't lie to me and say we were winning that. We weren't. I'd need an Ugin for that matchup, and that doesn't exist, so yeah. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed nonetheless. If you do enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Sealed and limited content on this channel is not particularly popular, so I really do need those analytics to justify playing it a lot of the time. So if you do hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, it all helps the channel a great deal, and I really appreciate it. If you do want to see more, that's the way to make it happen. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you didn't cringe too hard and break your back. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye!